It's the morning of Thursday, April 9th, 2020, and that means it's time for some Good Morning Magic. I'm Gavin Verhey, and I'm joined here today by special guest Steve Sunu. Now, you might have seen Steve before on the weekly MTG show that happens every Thursday alongside Blake Rasmussen, but in addition to being a communications manager, he worked on the design team for these Commander 2020 decks. Now, at Wizards, one of the things I love so much is that you don't have to be working on card design to come down and help make the game, and we tap people from outside the game design team for work on Magic all the time, and Steve got to come in and try out working on Commander for the very first time. Steve, what was your experience working on decks for the first time like?
I thought it was a really cool opportunity and a good chance to get to see how Studio X R&D really works and design stuff. It would be really useful for my job, really useful to communicate, but I didn't really realize how much fun I was going to have. It was really, really great, not just getting to know the design team, but also getting a chance to work on this game that I love so much.
You were handed the cycling deck to work on. How did that deck change over time?
I think that my commander was one of the ones that ended up changing the most from vision to execution. So that definitely changed. We also targeted a lot of different cards that worked very well in the deck that Vision hadn't necessarily identified yet.
What's your favorite card you made that went all the way through?
Herald of the Forgotten was the card that I designed from the ground up that changed the least from the time I designed it and put it into the file to the time that it saw print. I think we changed the stat lines and the cost a little bit, but in terms of the effect, which was we wanted a big finisher in white in that deck that could really swing the game if necessary in the late game. And I came up with the idea of what if we had just a giant flying creature or a giant creature that just brought everything with cycling that was in the graveyard back to the battlefield. It ended up working out pretty well. We tested it a few times, and every time it was actually played and resolved, it had some pretty big effects on the game. Didn't necessarily go on to end up winning the game or closing out the game, but definitely had a massive effect, and I was really, really pleased with how it came out, and I hope that people are excited to play the card.
Congratulations again on your first design team. Exciting stuff. If you want to go ask Steve any questions about the Timeless Wisdom deck or anything else, somebody once told me you can find him on Twitter at Steve Sunu. I'll talk to you all again tomorrow. In the meantime, I hope you get to try something new for the first time. You got this.